So you were asked to find articles on the library catalog, and I said I was going to make a little video teaching you how to find it using some of the online databases. Now, articles are usually published in journals. These are academic publications that come out periodically, sometimes 4 times a year. So they're sort of like a magazine where scholars publish their findings. And there are several different databases that gives you access to the collections in these journals. And one of the most popular ones is called JStor. So to find it, you need to go to the University of Toronto Library Catalog. And the easiest way is to click here on Popular Databases. And you see it's one of the most popular ones. See JStor? It's interdisciplinary, means it has journals from every discipline, not only history, but other disciplines as well. So we're going to click on it. Now it may ask for your password, see? And this is where you're going to put your user ID. It's only going to ask you once. If you're accessing it from the library itself, it won't ask you. But if you're accessing from home, you need to put in your user ID. And here's a list of databases per discipline. But you would just want to connect to this resource. And it's going to bring you right into your search interface. So here it is. It asks you to put in what you want to search. You can also narrow it down by discipline. So for this search, we're actually going to narrow it down to just history. Although many of your topics will probably go into other fields as well. So just to use the example given in the your handout, in the first step 2 assignment, remember I gave examples pretending that I was doing the assignment on Susan B. Anthony. Susan B. Anthony is a woman that was involved in a fight for women's right to vote in the United States, and she was arrested for illegal voting. Now I'm going to put in her name here. Now I'm going to put it in quotation marks, because then I'll be sure to get the name in that particular order. If I just put her name, it's going to look for everything with Susan, everything with Anthony, everything with B. But if I put it in quotation marks, it looks for the phrase itself. And I'm going to add some other categories to refine it a little further. So because it's done with the right to vote, which was a particular movement called the suffrage movement, I'm going to put that in as well. So search. Now we got lots of different results, 440. Now to interpret these results, and this is why I wanted to make this little video, you're going to see that there's different kinds of sources shows up. All of these say review, review, review. This is not an article. Okay, this is a book review, and it explains which book is being reviewed. Here you have the author of the book review. She reviewed this book called Susan B. Anthony, Rebel, Crusader, Humanitarian. And this book was written by Alma Lutz. And this review was published in the Mississippi Valley Historical Review in 1959. It's a fairly old review, so this suggests that this book, see there's other reviews from 1960, 1959, came out at some point in the 50s. It's a fairly old book, so let's look at something else. Oh, here is another review of a different book that was published in 1991. Now, if you were looking for books on Susan B. Anthony and you haven't found all of them yet, this is another way of finding books, because from the review You can read the review and see, a review is basically where scholars are going to say what they think about the book and what the book is about. You can also see, okay, I could look at the library catalog for this particular book. But this is not what we're doing right now. Right now we want to find an article. Now here's an article. It came up. It does deal with the suffrage movement, but it's about Olympia Brown. Maybe he mentions Susan B. Anthony in it too, so you could choose to download that. If you click on PDF, you download the PDF. Here we're starting to show more articles. There is another article about the suffrage movement. There's several other more. So check the date to make sure it's not before 1950 or even 1960. You want something a little bit more recent than that. And if it's a date that's fairly recent, you can definitely pick those ones. So what you want to do then is you can just click on an article and read it right there. See, it's going to open this way, and you can browse through, read it on the computer itself, or you can view the PDF and download it to your computer and then read it at any time. You won't have to be connected to the internet to do that. So this is one way in which you can find articles. In the next video I'm going to show you another way.